Isaiah 58. Shout loudly, don't be quiet. Yell as loudly as a trumpet. Confront my people with their rebellious deeds. Confront Jacob's family with their sins. They seek me day after day. They want to know my requirements like a nation that does what is right and does not reject the law of their God. They ask me for just decrees. They want to be near God. They lament. Why don't you notice when we fast? Why don't you pay attention when we humble ourselves? Look, at the same time you fast, you satisfy your selfish desires. You oppress your workers. Look, your fasting is accompanied by arguments and brawls and fistfights. Do not fast as you do today, trying to make your voice heard in heaven. Is that really the kind of fasting I want? Do I want a day when people merely humble themselves, bowing their heads like a reed and stretching out on sackcloth and ashes? Is that really what you call a fast? A day that is pleasing to the Lord? No. This is the kind of fast I want. I want you to remove the sinful chains, to tear away the ropes of the burdensome yoke, to set free the oppressed, and to break every burdensome yoke. I want you to share your food with the hungry and to provide shelter for the homeless, oppressed people. When you see someone naked, clothe them. Don't turn your back on your own flesh and blood. Then your light will shine like the sunrise. Your restoration will quickly arrive. Your godly behavior will go before you. The Lord's splendor will be your rear guard. Then you will call out, and the Lord will respond. You will cry out, and he will reply, "Here I am." You must remove the burdensome yoke from among you and stop pointing fingers and speaking sinfully. You must actively help the hungry and feed the oppressed. Then your light will dispel the darkness, and your darkness will be transformed into noonday. The Lord will continually lead you. He will feed you even in parched regions. He will give you renewed strength, and you will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring that continually produces water. Your perpetual ruins will be rebuilt. You will reestablish the ancient foundations. You will be called the ones who repaired the broken walls, the ones who make the streets inhabited again. You must observe the Sabbath rather than doing anything you please on my holy day. You must look forward to the Sabbath and treat the Lord's holy day with respect. You must treat it with respect by refraining from your normal activities and by refraining from your selfish pursuits and making business deals. Then you will find joy in your relationship to God, and I will give you great prosperity and cause crops to grow on the land I gave your ancestor Jacob. Know for certain that the Lord has spoken. So shout loudly, don't be quiet, yell as loud as a trumpet, confront my people with their rebellious deeds. Okay, their rebellious deeds. Confront Jacob's family with their sins. So rebellion and sin. What are they doing? They seek me day after day. They want to know my requirements, like a nation that wants to do what's right. So this is where their sin is contained in. Seeking God day after day, wanting to know his requirements and his law. They ask for just decrees. They want to be near God. They lament, why don't you notice when we fast? Why don't you pay attention when we humble ourselves? Look, at the same time you fast, you satisfy your selfish desires and you oppress your workers. We had the psalm the other day that was, God, we're doing everything right and you're not listening to me. The song of Korah that we read. I'm wondering if this is connected, if that song was one of these songs that cries out and says, we're doing everything right, and then the reality is they're not doing everything right. Or is that song more of a response afterwards? But anyway, their sin is mixed up in what they're doing. So, this is one of those things we need to pay attention to. Do you go to church on Sunday and you're kind to all of your Christian friends and you do whatever, but you take advantage of people at work. You cheat on your punching in the time clock and you're punching out. Like, where are you taking advantage of people and the system? Are you storing up treasures for yourself? Are you building, like, the same time you fast, you satisfy your selfish desires? So you're supposed to be doing a fast, and yet you are seeking pleasure for yourself, and you oppress your workers. Here it says your debtors. I don't have any workers, but people that owe me money or owe me something, I could oppress them. But workers, I'm never going to have workers. So workers, I don't think is a great translation. It doesn't relate to a lot of people. However, if we're talking about this in terms of a nation, oh, yeah. Our workers are often oppressed in different circumstances and situations. I'm not saying and I'm not saying every employer oppresses them. Some employers, especially when you get into some industries, they're trying to stay afloat. They're trying to survive. They're doing their best. They would love to give more money to their employees, but they can't, because if they do, they'll end up closed. So they're not the ones trying to oppress. It's more of a structural system problem that we have. You have to go. You keep a tab. God bless. Thank you. I'm watching. Have a blessed day, friend. So your fasting is accompanied with brawls and fistfights. Do not fast as you do today, trying to make your voices heard in heaven. So why are you fasting? Yeah, you are trying to make God pay attention to you so God will give you what you want. You're trying to say, God, I did this. You need to do that now. You're trying to do transaction. You're trying to do what the other nations do. Do the procedure the right way, and God is obligated to give you what you want. No. God is about your heart. He is about relationship. This is how they are violating the relationship. They're going through the motions and they're doing whatever they want. So, not cool. I mean, fist fights when you're fasting, that just sounds weird. Is that really the kind of fasting I want? Do I want a day when people merely humble themselves, bowing their heads like a reed and stretching out a sackcloth? Do I just want you going through the motions? I merely get to see you do it. Oh, goody. Look they did it. Is that really what you call a fast, a day of pleasing the Lord? No. This is the kind of fast I want. Okay, so here's where we need to pay attention. I want you to remove the sinful chains, to tear away the ropes of the burdensome yoke and set the oppressed free, to break every burdensome yoke. So you are piling burdens on people. I want people to have freedom. No doubt, oppression from employers, other people, burdens from the religious system, all of it. All of it. I want you to share your food with the hungry. I want you to provide shelter for the homeless, oppressed people. When you see someone naked, clothe them. Don't turn your back on your own flesh and blood. Okay, if you see something, do something. That's what God says. That's what I want. And from your flesh, do not hide yourself. Okay. You know how many people, how many Christians, I should say, kick their kids out of their house claiming that they're doing what God wants them to do? I just don't see that anywhere in Scripture. Of you're sinning, I got to kick you out. I got to disassociate. I got to do this because it'll bring you back. No, I don't think it will. I don't think it works. You're breaking relationship. How many people don't take care of their own flesh and blood? Your brother, your sister needs something and you can help them and you don't. That's what he's talking about here. You take advantage of all the people that you can. You don't make a distinction. You don't help when you can. Then your light will shine like sunrise. Your restoration will quickly arrive. So you need to amend your behavior, and then your restoration will come. Your godly behavior will go before you, and the Lord's splendor will be your rear guard. So your behavior will be the light in front of you, and God will come and guard you from behind. Then you will call out, and the Lord will respond. You will cry out, and he will reply, here I am. The reason God hasn't heard you is you're just trying to say, I did the thing, I put the coin in the slot, and you have to do what I want. Vend it out, God, vending. That's what you are, right? You're just this prayer machine. I pray the right prayer, you give me what I want. No. God's like, no, change your heart, change your behaviors. Then I'll hear you. Then I'll say, here I am. You must remove the burdensome yoke from among you and stop pointing fingers and speaking sinfully. You must actively help the hungry and feed the oppressed. Then your light will dispel darkness, and your darkness will transform the noonday. You need to go help oppressed people. The Lord will continually lead you. He will feed you even in a parched region. He will give your rewarded strength, and you will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring that continually produces water. How are you going to have this? By helping others. You see a need, you respond to the need, then God will bless you. Then why? Because you are doing what you're supposed to. You are going to have it flow out of you to be able to help others more, not so that you can accumulate. You will reestablish the ancient foundations. You will be called the ones who repaired the broken walls and the ones who make the streets inhabitable again. Why? You're repairing broken relationships. You're repairing the broken system. The system is broken. People are exploiting other people. One thing I want you to just kind of pay attention to here, a lot of people will down play or attack capitalism because of exploitation. Capitalism doesn't exist here, and there's exploitation. Okay, there is no system that has a safeguard against exploitation. There are none. There are people, then they will exploit whatever system there is, however it is. Communism, socialism, theocracy, monarchy, every system will have people exploiting things. So God is calling us all, no matter what system we are in, to serve those who are exploited. You must look forward to the Sabbath. Okay, looking forward to the Sabbath, like I get to rest, I get to spend time with God, as opposed to, oh man, I can't make money. And treat the Lord's Day, holy day, with respect. You must treat it with respect and refrain from normal activities. Why would we refrain from normal activities? Because it is a day that is set apart. It's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be different than all other days. That's how you set it apart. So if you're doing normal activities, it's not being set apart if you're doing the normal things that you do. So refrain from your selfish pursuits and from making business deals. So, yeah, so you're not doing labor, but you're making business deals. You're making plans. You need to stop from pursuing and start trusting and relying on God. Then you will find joy in your relationship with God when you look forward to Sabbath instead of have disdain for it. I will give you great prosperity. I'm going to guess that is peace again. I will cause you to ride upon the heights of the land. Okay. And cause crops to grow on the land I gave to your ancestor Jacob. Know for certain that the Lord has spoken. So God is saying what will happen. He is calling them to account for the exploitation of other people. So, like, this is one of those things where it's like, when and where is this being spoken to the people? What cycle are we in? Is this they've gone into exile, they're going into exile, or they are already in exile and waiting to come back? Because the previous chapter sounded like, I'm ready to return you. But is that the promise going in? Is that while they're in, like, it's the order of, and like, don't think of this as chronological, like from beginning to end. This is the first thing that's said, and then the next. That's not it. We have these cycles that we go through within the reading of it. Isaiah